fastest wrestling on the edge of the world! And you're undisputed big champ of New Zealand. Recognize the name, Jamie Two Tails Tagataese.
Jamie, the Mercenary, will be walking out the SPW champion.
NIWA, Hooligan, round 2, but this time it ain't gonna be me lying in the middle of the ring, mate. It's gonna be you.
All right, Queenstown, welcome to WrestleFest! Now, ladies and gentlemen, normally it's my role, but tonight we have got a treat for you, so please join me in putting your hands together for our special guest host for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Sansome!
Yes, hello! What's going on? Welcome to the most adrenaline-filled night in wrestling in New Zealand. Welcome, Queenstown. Welcome to WrestleFest 2021. Who's been to WrestleFest before? Yeah, so a lot of you who have been here before are looking at me very confused and thinking, fuck me, the hooligan has let himself go. Been a tough year on the pies. Could be a tricky night for me. We've got an absolutely awesome night tonight, guys. I am the host. Allow me to introduce myself to you. My name is Gary. You can probably tell by my accent. I'm an alcoholic. Thank you. So what a night we're going to have. Let's get a cheer for the right-hand side of the ring. Not very popular. Let's get a cheer for the left-hand side of the ring. Let's get a cheer from the middle. Amazing. So do we have some hooligan fans in tonight? Bit more than that. Everyone hates him. Yes, a hooligan is a local Queenstown lad via Birmingham. He's going to be in our main event. He's taking on the Savage NIWA. It's going to be absolutely off the chain, ladies and gentlemen. We've got lots of exciting stuff. Let's get a round of applause for our ring announcer. This is David Dunn. We've got a raffle tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And you can win a bungee jump. 7 matches, 4 in the first half. Then we have a break so you guys can get some more drinks. Oh, that was fucking popular. And then in the first half we have 2, not 1, but 2 title matches. In the second half we've got... What's that? Oh. Who would have thought we've got a shy person at a wrestling show? What do you say, big man? Okay, yeah, you think you should be in the strip club, my friends. Right, what's that? You fancy people, that's why you came to see the hooligan, because you fancy people with a bald head. Fucking hell. I do apologise for him. So do we have any British people in today? Well, that's a surprise in Queenstown. Anyone from Invercargill? Just watch out, everyone, for them. No, they're bloody awesome. SPW is a home base in Invercargill, absolutely awesome. And tonight is going to be a special night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a huge wrestling fan, absolutely delighted to be here. I'll be coming out. I'm going to give out a free t-shirt to the best audience member. So that could be you, sir. Could that be you, my friend with a beard? Could it fuck? Could it be this sexy man? He's already got a t-shirt. Look at that sexy man with the bald head shining off your head. What could it be you? What's your name, sir? Hamish. Oh, give it a say. Hello, Hamish. It's a good Scottish name, isn't it, David? A good Scottish name. Right, if you're going to heckle, you're going to have to speak English. Oh my God. Who is that? God, you guys are pissed already. God, that kid in the front row's a bit worried. Don't worry, we'll send the wrestlers out to beat them up. So guys, we're about ready to rock and roll with this show. Are we ready? This is my first time. Look, they've got a photographer over here. How you doing, my friend? He doesn't give a fuck. Right, so I'm going to try and get on these ropes for the first time, and I'm going to do a moonsault. I don't think so. Look how fucking easy this is. This is why you don't try this at home. So I'm going to try and get on the second rope. Like, come on, give me a drum roll. Give me a drum roll, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Oh, wow. I managed to do this before. Right, ladies and gentlemen, who is ready for the best night in live wrestling in New Zealand? I feel ready for some live wrestling action. Give me a hell yeah. Come on, better than a hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go over to the professional, the man who's going to see us through the night. Give it up for David Dunn. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Dunn, take us away.
All right, Queenstown, let's get a referee out here because it is time for our opening match of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a singles match and it is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring first, he is the Armbar Jesus, the Lumberjack, Jaxon Cross. And his opponent, from Morningside, Rangi!
Here we are again, SPW Queenstown WrestleFest. It is my honour to be here, Tyler King at ringside, soon to be joined by David Dunn. And here we have Rangi making his SPW Queenstown WrestleFest debut. Oh my God, Jaxon Cross taking Rangi's head off to start this match. Shoots him off the ropes now. Rangi and Jaxon Cross, both men making their Queenstown debuts here. Oh! And Rangi with the chop to Jaxon Cross. David, Jaxon Cross getting things underway in a hurry here, but Rangi has fired back.
An absolutely vicious Jaxon Cross tonight. He's fired up to be here in Queenstown in front of this hot, hot crowd. And look at this crisscross action. Both men running the ropes.
No, not going to work against Rangi.
And now an Irish whip from Rangi sends Jaxon Cross into the corner. Oh, but he eats a back elbow.
Stinks, says Rangi after sneezing into his face mask there. Appreciate him taking the precaution though, David.
You can never be too careful. But now Rangi throwing caution to the wind as Queenstown firmly behind him as he heads to the middle rope. Oh, but again, that big knee from Jaxon Cross, and Rangi spills to the outside.
Was just saying, David, both these men making their Queenstown debuts, but I think it's no surprise who the crowd is going to be behind here.
When Rangi has proved ultra popular no matter where he is, whether he's at home in Morningside, Invercargill has really taken to him as one of their own, and it seems like Queenstown, it feels the same way.
It may not matter though. Rangi knocked to the floor. If he can't get up now, this match is going to be over. Jaxon Cross now just taking a seat. He thinks he's got this one in hand.
And fair enough. I mean, a count-out victory every bit as good as a pinfall or a submission. If Cross can win by count-out, he will be happy to do so.
Rangi back in though. Beats the count. Let's not forget the history here, David. Fight for gold. It was Jaxon Cross costing Rangi that match against Professor Palmer and leaving Rangi laying. And he leaves him laying right there.
Drives the wind out of Rangi's abdomen and follows up with a knee to the head. This could be it, Tyler. The shoulders are down. Stacking all of Rangi's weight on his shoulders, but not quite enough there.
Conspicuous by his absence is Professor Palmer, David. Would normally be accompanying Jaxon Cross.
Interesting to see whether this will impact whether this will impact Cross's game plan, but it doesn't seem to. Right now, you see Jaxon Cross focusing in on that arm because, of course, he is the Armbar Jesus, and his preferred method of victory will be a submission.
Is he the lumberjack now also?
Many monikers for Jaxon Cross, none of them particularly good.
Oh my goodness, not good for his opponent.
And this is a tough spot for Rangi to be in here, of course. For a long time, from his first appearance, was undefeated here at SPW, but has run into hard times as of late, courtesy of Jaxon Cross and Professor Palmer. And, I mean, look at the small joint manipulation there. Bending the fingers back and now stomping on the back of the elbow.
You talk about being undefeated. Jaxon Cross has been on a hell of a roll since aligning with Professor Palmer. But with Palmer not being here tonight, yeah, we'll see how it goes for Jaxon Cross. But at the moment, as you say, he is in firm control. It's that Queenstown crowd again. He can't let them bother him. Everyone that comes into this building for the first time, it's a unique energy.
But again, that pump kick from Jaxon Cross puts Rangi on the canvas. And now returning to that left arm, stretching it out, applying a great deal of pressure to the elbow joint and to the left shoulder.
Like I said, David, there is no doubt who this Queenstown crowd will get behind. They are firmly behind Rangi, and Rangi is back to his feet.
Breaking the grip of Jaxon Cross, shoots off the ropes as Rangi, but he walks right into a drop kick from Armbar Jesus.
Impressive athleticism from a man his size. Is this it? No, Rangi with the shoulder up.
Very resilient is Rangi, and you've got to wonder, Tyler, whether he's received any coaching, because, of course, tonight, the first time in a long time that his cousin Kingi also in action on this WrestleFest card.
Yeah, of course, Rangi coached by his cousin Kingi to enter the ring, and he's done a great job so far, but he's run into Armbar Jesus now. Will he be able to overcome him here?
Jaxon Cross again targeting this left arm. Look at the angle. And that could be some serious damage done to a ligament, done to the joint, and Cross hooks the leg now, trying to end this matchup. Rangi just refuses to quit, but Jaxon Cross refuses to quit in his relentless attack of the left arm.
This crowd are ready for Rangi to make a comeback. Is Rangi ready?
He's going to have to be ready, Tyler, or this will be the end. Oh! Both men had the same idea there. Stereo clotheslines, both are down. but this could be that breath of fresh air that Rangi needs to get some air back in his lungs, to get some feeling back in that left arm. Of course, assuming that both men are able to make it back to their feet, because this could very well be a draw by way of double countout.
Rangi's taken a lot more damage so far, David.
He certainly has. You can see him there firing away with a jab from that left arm, but it is not at 100%. And Rangi may be doing as much damage to himself as he is to Jaxon Cross with these punches. But he's starting to string together some offense here, and again!
Oh! Jaxon Cross shutting him down quickly.
That bicycle knee, just like a silver bullet in the chamber of Jaxon Cross whenever he needs it.
Absolutely. Here's that pump handle tombstone, David. This is it. Oh no, Rangi out. The stunner.
Cross on wobbly legs. A second stunner connects and puts him down. Rangi into the cover. 1, 2, 3. Here is your winner, Rangi.
Well, David, he did it. I don't know how, but he did it. Rangi with a huge victory to kick off SPW WrestleFest 2021. He puts away Jaxon Cross and earns a speck of revenge of what went down a fight for gold. Well done, Rangi.
From the realm of chaos, the Alphalete, Charlie Roberts. And introducing his opponent, making his way to the ring from Dunedin, the Golden Boy, Ryder. Well, the action continues here at Queenstown WrestleFest, and I'm joined at the commentary desk by our special host for the evening as our referee calls for the bell.
Hello, David.
That's right, Gary Sansome here at the desk joining me. Gary, what do you make of Queenstown WrestleFest so far?
What a wild night. What a wild night we've had so far. That first match was absolutely banging, and now this is going to be crazy as well. Crowd not liking Charlie too much. Or Ryder for the example as well.
An interesting clash of styles in this matchup for sure, but you can't really blame the Queenstown crowd, can you? I mean, look at this hairstyle from Charlie Roberts. What is he thinking?
It's wild. The man is wild, but he can sure fight. Look at the strength.
Never skips a day in the gym, and that's why we call him the Alphalete, the alpha athlete, as it were. But Ryder there with a boot to the midsection sends Charlie Roberts spilling back to the corner. Oh, and Ryder with the roll-up here, shoulders are down.
Wow.
And Gary, it appears as though this may be Ryder's ticket to success as he catches Roberts at a Mahistral cradle, doing his best to be the faster man in tonight's contest.
Yeah, Ryder's got the pace. Look at that. Look at the agility.
Shoulders down again.
He's flying around there like he's 5'4". Oh, he is 5'4". Oh, and here we go.
Look at that beautiful head scissors sends Charlie Roberts to the corner. Ryder on fire tonight.
Wow. It's a big night. Big night.
And this is a big night for Ryder as he catches Charlie Roberts with that agile kick. A few years ago, Gary, Ryder sat in the front row in this very venue, watched Marcus Kool wrestle the main event, decided he too wanted to become a pro wrestler.
Wow.
So Queenstown holds a special place in the heart of the Golden Boy.
He's smashing it.
Oh, but he's getting smashed by the Alphalete.
I think the crowd have got into Charlie's head. Although he's taken back over.
And a second backbreaker puts Ryder on the canvas.
Backbreaker indeed. Well.
And this is where Charlie Roberts thrives, when he can be in the driver's seat. If he doesn't lose his footing there, bobbing away at the back of Ryder, kicking at the back of the head. But when Roberts can slow the pace of the match, can dictate how things play out, can keep Ryder grounded with that power advantage, this is where the Alphalete is at his best.
He's got some crazy attire as well as crazy hair. I wonder what the motivation is behind that. Is that to intimidate the opponent?
It certainly intimidates me from where I'm sitting up here.
Yeah, it's different. It's a bit Ultimate Warrior.
It certainly is, channeling that power there with an ultimate forearm to the side of the face. And now takes Ryder up and over. Beautiful double underhook suplex.
For all the theatrics, that was a pretty textbook suplex.
He knows his stuff, does the Alphalete. An SPW original with us all the way from day one back in 2015 and still going strong here in 2021. The drop kick right to the back of Ryder's head.
Ooh. It's not looking good for Ryder.
A bad spot for the Golden Boy indeed. He'll need to find a way to overcome the power of Charlie Roberts, and this may be it. Knife edge chop.
Those hurt, those hurt.
And Ryder drives Roberts back to the corner and lights him up with a chop again. Just about took his head off with that clothesline. Devastating impact.
What a lariat! What a lariat!
Roberts with the leg hooks now.
Whoa!
2.5, Gary, but it was not 3.
I thought that was it. I thought it was over. Damn near took his neck off.
And Charlie Roberts thought it was over as well, arguing with our referee, laying his hands on the official here.
Here we go. Oh, this could be it. This could be it.
Small package from Ryder.
So close. Oh. Oh.
Oh, but Charlie Roberts smashes Ryder to the canvas.
Nearly sent him through the canvas. This crowd are rowdy. They're lively.
And Ryder desperately trying to get himself back to a vertical base. Get out of the way. If Roberts hits it, the Valkyrie's flat elbow right to the heart.
Oh, yeah.
And that is it. A big win for the Alphalete tonight.
A dominant one.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the Alphalete, Charlie Roberts.
Well, some despicable actions there from the Alphalete guys. Let's switch gears now and look at the role that the SPW New Zealand champion has been on lately. And as you can see, Jamie Tagataese carrying 2 championship belts to the ring. Since we last saw him, he has regained the IPW New Zealand Championship. The first man in history to hold both belts. 2 titles. Tagataese is here at SPW Fight for Gold. Warhammer!
And still, your SPW champion. Tonight I did my part. I defended this here. And tomorrow, I go back all the way to Auckland to defend this. Nobody wants to take this. Because I am your undisputed big champ of New Zealand. Recognize the name. Give me 2 titles.
Are you listening, SPW? Huh? Have I made my message clear enough to you yet? Or do I need to keep destroying the up-and-comers, huh? Do I need to keep destroying the rookies? Because SPW, this isn't going to stop. This nightmare for your training school, for your up-and-comers, has only just begun. Because I'm not going to stop till I get what I want. And that is the SPW New Zealand title around my waist. Not because I want it, but because I deserve it. I'm the only one in this locker room that deserves it. So SPW, the ball's in your court. Give me what I want, or this train is going to keep right on rolling.
Another warning from the Alphalete, but right now it is time for our first championship match of the evening. The SPW New Zealand Tag Team Championships will be on the line as the New Zealand Mega Powers defend against a team new to SPW, the Knights of Mayhem.
Hashtag willpower we trust.
The new SPW New Zealand Tag Team Champions, the Mega Powers, make their way onto the stage here at Queenstown WrestleFest for their first ever title defense. They are taking on a team new to SPW, the Knights of Mayhem. And look at Rough Guts having to hold back Danny Octane. He's like a caged animal in there. Rough Guts, Danny Octane and Sabrina, the Knights of Mayhem. First time in SPW, where we have seen Rough Guts once before in Invercargill. This is all... And of course we've seen Sabrina before when she was aligned with Professor Palmer. But this is all new territory here. Knights of Mayhem versus the New Zealand Mega Powers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next matchup is for the SPW New Zealand Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, accompanied to the ring by Sabrina, the team of Rough Guts and Danny Octane, the Knights of Mayhem.
Queenstown crowd not sure what to make of the Knights. It's a huge opportunity for them, their first match in SPW as a team.
And their opponents, they are the reigning, defending SPW New Zealand Tag Team Champions, Willpower and Kool Sky, the Mega Powers.
Kool Sky, of course, also the Fight for Gold briefcase holder. Oh, look at Danny Octane. He's... Rough Guts having to hold him back still. Oh, here he goes. And we are underway with this SPW New Zealand Tag Team Championship match. As I said, huge opportunity for the Knights of Mayhem. Oh, Sky knocks down Octane. Willpower unable to knock down Rough Guts though. Definitely the biggest man in this match. But there's nothing new for Willpower. Here he goes. Oh, yes. Teamwork from the New Zealand Mega Powers there. Guts and Octane able to take advantage of this so far and have the Mega Powers tied up in the ropes.
The Knights of Mayhem have been on an absolute tear around the rest of New Zealand, which has earned them this Tag Team Championship match tonight in Queenstown. They are bringing the fight to the defending champions.
Imagine if they won the tag titles on their first night out. This would be incredible. But here's Sabrina, the third Knight of Mayhem, getting involved on the outside of the ring. Rough Guts had the referee distracted in the ring. Nothing new from Sabrina.
No, we have seen Sabrina used to great effect in the past.
Oh, no.
And that's a bad landing if you are the Knights of Mayhem.
Who's legal, David? This is... referee's going to get control of this one.
An absolutely chaotic start to this contest.
It's Mayhem. It's Mayhem is what it is.
Aptly so. And the Knights of Mayhem going for a ride, courtesy of the Mega Powers.
Might not be any little Knights of Mayhem in the future after that one. Oh! Look at the tag team continuity from the Mega Powers. Look at their matching gear. Look at these guys. It's our first time seeing them as a proper team. As they were kind of a surprise at a Fight for Gold, but they've really gelled well together, haven't they?
They absolutely have. A little bit too much power in that handshake, perhaps. And now it looks as though we're finally... Oh, it's Sabrina rushing into the ring to save her fellow knights.
Well, she did her job there, caused the distraction, and now heading out the ring.
And we are still none the wiser as to who the legal participants in this match are.
I'm going to call it Danny Octane and Cool Guy Sky, David. It's pretty obvious.
I'll agree with you on that one, Tyler, as we see there, big atomic drop, and now Rough Guts, the tag is made. Here's our legal man.
Boom, Rough Guts. Not seen in SPW since 2016. A hard-hitting battle with Hammer.
But boy, oh boy, this version of Rough Guts looks like he could eat the last version of Rough Guts, strangle him with his bare hands. This is a new man in that ring tonight.
A new man that looks primed and ready to win the SPW New Zealand Tag Team Championship. Look at him.
Of course, Rough Guts has held a number of regional championships around the country. I'd love to add those SPW New Zealand Tag Team Championships to his list of accolades. And Rough Guts now using that wrist tape. And look at this. Willpower arguing with our referee, trying to explain the situation. But unfortunately for him, it just allows Rough Guts more time for this illegal hold.
That's a masterful work by Rough Guts. He's been around a long time. Knows how to manipulate the situation.
And again, Kool
still choking.
He's still choking him this entire time.
He's just positioned his body in such a way that the referee had no idea.
Applying the chin lock to mask the illegal choke. But Cool Guy Sky finds his way back to his feet, desperately punches away at the abdomen of Rough Guts, but there's that power differential. One shot from Rough Guts, all it takes to level one half of the tag team champions.
Cool Guy Sky already taking a lot of punishment. He's got to want to make that tag to Willpower, and Willpower's had enough of the cheating now, trying to get in the ring. And of course, this is just making it worse. Rough Guts now with the ref not looking.
And this must be so frustrating for Willpower. He's trying to do the right thing, but look at that tag team expertise of the Knights of Mayhem. And now it's Danny Octane applying that chin lock with that little bit of extra leverage from the wrist tape.
They could have tagged, but they chose not to.
And it just goes to show you that the Knights of Mayhem are looking to cut corners tonight, to do anything and everything within their power to cheat on their way to the history books.
They're showing how in control of this match they are. And look, Danny Octane is choking Sky with that tape, and the referee has, I think he's finally noticed Danny Octane hiding it behind his back.
Let's see both hands at the same time, Danny.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, how convenient. Sabrina again coming through for her fellow Knights. And now Sky firing away with a series of forearms, shoots off the ropes, but runs into a back elbow. Do we have new tag team champions, Tyler?
Almost. Our first time seeing Danny Octane in an SPW ring, but he now tags out to the veteran Rough Guts.
And Danny Octane and Rough Guts, they really complement each other in a great way, don't they? They are very different competitors, but each man fills in the holes in the other's game, I guess you could say, as Rough Guts into the cover here. 2 count, 1 second away from new tag team champions.
Rough Guts, a bit of a calming presence for Danny Octane. Did you notice him holding back Danny Octane at the beginning of the match, David? Danny Octane, like a pit bull, just can't wait to get his hands on the tag team championships.
I could not wait to get out of the ring after those ring introductions. Danny Octane is a scary man. Oh, and now look at this, Rough Guts again with the referee not able to see it. Fish hooking away at the mouth of Cool Guy Sky.
Oh, and just taking Willpower off the apron.
And now look at this, drags Cool Guy Sky back over the halfway point. Oh!
That was brutal. Cool Guy Sky on a hell of a roll so far this year. Tag team champion, Fight for Gold briefcase winner. It could come to a screeching halt here tonight. Rough Guts has him in his sights.
That abdominal stretch, you could already see the handprint beginning to show as Cool Guy Sky sends Rough Guts into the corner, rushes in with a clothesline, try to create some space so he can make a tag to Willpower, and Sabrina just drags Power off the apron. Oh! Knockout headbutt from Rough Guts. Sky flailing his legs, manages to get his shoulder up, but he might be on Dream Street here.
Thought we had new tag team champions, David. Thought the reign of the Mega Powers was going to be short-lived. It may still be.
And that is a scary thought, isn't it? Imagine the Knights of Mayhem sitting at the top of the table in the SPW Tag Team Division.
They're back to that tape again. Sky's going to be unconscious, and Willpower's had enough.
But Willpower at this point doing more harm than good for Cool Guy Sky. I mean, look at this. Sky's gone limp, courtesy of that tape wrapped around the throat. Did he just put it in his mouth to hide it from the referee?
I think he did.
And Cool Guy Sky gasping for air as Rough Guts picks him up over the shoulder, maybe thinking about that rough driver. We'll never know, because Sky, with a jawbreaker, sends that mouthful of tape flying into the air.
I've seen Rough Guts deliver that rough driver. You do not want to be on the other end of that.
But look at this, Tyler. Referee Hayden Brown throwing that tape out of the ring. Could we finally, very late into this contest, see a fair fight?
Let's see.
Tags made to Danny Octane, and in comes Willpower for the first time in a long time. Bicycle knee from Power flattens Danny Octane.
Willpower giving a message to Rough Guts there. And a beautiful fisherman suplex takes Octane over.
Really letting Rough Guts know exactly how he feels. But that one, as the Shining Wizard takes out Danny Octane.
There's Sabrina. It's really 3 against 1 at this point. Sky's taking so much damage. Sabrina getting involved.
And again, Willpower with his focus on the wrong team member. Oh, look out!
Oh, no.
Power had it scouted. Rough Guts wipes out Sabrina, sends her tumbling off the apron. And there's the ATG.
You watch this, we got a game plan.
Oh. Well, I guess that takes care of Sabrina. It's back to, 2-on-1 until Sky can get back in the game.
And look at this. Willpower stacking the Knights of Mayhem up on that top turnbuckle.
Sky signaling for that surfboard. We've seen him do before, but never on the top rope. Both the Knights of Mayhem stacked up.
Unbelievable. Cool Guy Sky takes a break from his wrestling contest for a little bit of surfing.
Sky has Octane up. Is it the F5? The tornado spinning. Oh, Danny Octane, nice getting out of it. Rough Guts pulls Willpower off the apron.
O'Connor roll now, puts the shoulders of Danny Octane on the mat. And look at this, in position for the 619. And Octane feeds Sky back into the rough driver. This is how the Knights of Mayhem have been successful up and down the country. No one has kicked out of this combination. And Willpower just saved his partner from losing the SPW New Zealand Tag Team Championships.
Back to 2-on-1, David. Sky is out after that rough driver. If they can get Willpower on the ring, stay on Sky, we can have new tag team champions.
The Knights now thinking about a battering ram. But the Mega Powers put on the brakes. And now it's Rough Guts. Hello to the rig. Taken down by that sling blade. And Tyler, we talked about that 619 Rough Driver being a lethal combination. What about this?
Will Power's frog splash. Yes! And Sky. 450. Beautiful.
And the Mega Powers do it together. Still your tag team champions.
We trust.
Here are your winners and still SPW New Zealand Tag Team Champions, Will Power, Cool Guy Sky, the Mega Powers.
An incredible victory for Cool Guy Sky and Will Power, defeating the debuting Knights of Mayhem. Let's go back and have a look. Rough Guts taking Sky down with that Rough Driver. Will Power just in time to break up the pin. And then it was that frog splash 450 combination and our first successful defense for the SPW New Zealand Tag Team Champions, the Mega Powers.
Ouch, Will, ouch. Ooh, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cool Guy. Now, I know for a fact that coming up next is the SPW title match. And as you just saw, the Mega Powers retain the SPW Tag Team Championship. But I'm not satisfied with that. I want to take home the gold. And that's where this comes into play. This Fight for Gold briefcase means that I can cash in and get a title shot whenever I want. So big man with the big belts. I hope you have eyes in the back of your head, boy, because Cool Guy Sky's gonna be watching out the back, and I might just cash in tonight and become the champ.
Well, there you heard it from Cool Guy Sky. He's telling the big man, Jamie Tagataese, to have eyes in the back of his head. Will Sky cash in tonight? But of course, it's not only Sky that Jamie Tagataese is going to have to worry about. Coming up next, Tagataese defends that SPW New Zealand Championship against the Mercenary, Slade Mercer. Here's what Mercer had to say about this match earlier this week.
SPW is coming to Queenstown this Saturday, and your boy the Mercenary is going one-on-one with the big man, Jamie Tagataese, for the SPW Heavyweight Championship. Jamie, the nickname Big Man's a funny one because that's what people used to call me. Back when I was running this scene, back when I was the New Zealand Heavyweight Champion. And now that's you. But unfortunately for you, and fortunately for everyone in attendance at Queenstown, the Mercenary will be walking out the SPW Heavyweight Champion. Because the Mercenary has his sights set on you, Jamie. And the Mercenary doesn't miss.
The Mercenary makes his way to the ring here at Queenstown WrestleFest, ready to challenge for the second time in his career for the SPW New Zealand Championship. He's challenged once before in this very building. He was the first man to main event in this building against the Hooligan Kool back in 2016. He's come a long way since then. Will the Mercenary be the next SPW New Zealand champion? And here comes the big man, 2 titles, Tagataese. SPW New Zealand champion, IPW New Zealand champion. Undefeated in SPW, the big man, Jamie Tagataese. Last year at this event, he was defending only the IPW New Zealand Championship. This year, it's 2 titles, Tagataese, and the SPW New Zealand Championship is about to be on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the SPW New Zealand Championship. Introducing the challenger. Hailing from New Plymouth, weighing 130 kilograms, this is the Mercenary, Slade Mercer. And his opponent, from Auckland City, weighing 120 kilograms, he is the IPW New Zealand champion and the reigning, defending SPW New Zealand champion, the big man, Jamie Tagataese.
The undisputed New Zealand heavyweight champion, Jamie Tagataese, getting a huge ovation here at Queenstown WrestleFest. Of course, it is only one championship on the line here tonight. Can Slade Mercer get it done this time? Referee checking both competitors before this one gets underway. David Dunn, welcome back to the desk. This is a huge, huge matchup.
Literally true heavyweights colliding here. New Zealand Championship on the line. What a massive matchup going down tonight at Queenstown WrestleFest. And right away you see both of these men, Tyler, they are used to being the stronger competitor in the matchup. How will this play out?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see here. Slade Mercer always used to having that size advantage. But yeah, so is Jamie, so it will be interesting to see. Slade Mercer early on going for the headlock to try and take control. I believe this is the first ever one-on-one meeting between the two, so they're going to want to feel each other out early on.
And Tagataese there sends Mercer off the ropes. Neither man willing to give an inch on that shoulder block. You can see Slade Mercer, he likes what he sees here in Jamie Tagataese.
This is really 2 generations of New Zealand wrestling colliding here, isn't it, David?
It absolutely is. Slade Mercer, one of the first true big men to emerge in New Zealand professional wrestling. As we see here, the momentum of these shoulder blocks sends Mercer and Tagataese into the ropes. Oh! And that will take Mercer off his feet. And Tagataese misses with the avalanche splash in the corner. Mercer does the same. Big hip just from the big man. And right now the champ is in control.
Business as usual for Jamie Tagataese, undefeated in SPW. He won that New Zealand Championship back at the Southern Rumble in 2020.
Oh, but he is introduced hard to that middle turnbuckle. And that could be a game changer for Slade Mercer. Trying to capitalize by driving his boot into the throat of Tagataese.
A man with the size and the experience of Slade Mercer, you wouldn't normally put him as the underdog. You wouldn't normally call it an upset if he were to get the win, but tonight it feels that way with the momentum that Tagataese has. Mercer really taking control early because he knows it too.
Tagataese has been an absolute phenomenon here in SPW, steamrolling through the competition, but Slade Mercer has had a great opportunity to scout Jamie Tagataese over the course of the last few SPW events as he drives the breath out of Tagataese's lungs, choking him on that middle rope.
Cool guy Sky throwing a wrench into Jamie's game plan potentially. Just giving him a little bit of a reminder about that Fight for Gold briefcase before this match began.
And you've got to wonder whether that gets in the head of Jamie Tagataese, because Tagataese cannot afford to have his focus anywhere else other than on Slade Mercer, who right now is just driving shoulder after shoulder into the midsection of the big man.
I'm sure Jamie's focus is purely on this match and defending that SPW New Zealand Championship against Slade Mercer, but at the same time, he does have to have eyes in the back of his head, so it's a difficult situation for the champion to be in.
But so does Slade Mercer, to be fair. I mean, if Mercer is able to overcome Tagataese tonight and become the SPW champion, what's to say Cool Guy Sky doesn't cash in on the Mercenary?
That's very true. I imagine that would be a wrinkle in Cool Guy Sky's plan, but nevertheless, stranger things have happened.
And a big snapmare now puts Slade Mercer in control with this chinlock in the middle of the ring. And we should point out, Tyler, I mean, this is Slade Mercer, only his second opportunity for the SPW New Zealand Championship, but he has held multiple championships around the continent. An 8-time champion if you tally up all his reigns between Australia and New Zealand.
Absolutely, Slade Mercer dominated the Australian scene. We are very lucky to have him back here in SPW. Actually, still the current holder of a couple of championships in Australia, it's my understanding.
That's right, one in Victoria, one in South Australia. Truly travelling all over the country, but he might fall victim to the Warhammer here. Tagataese looking to finish things. Mercer slips off the shoulders and wipes out the big man with a lariat and looks mighty pleased about it.
Could that be the face of the next SPW New Zealand champion? It's 2 titles Tagataese versus 2 titles Mercer. Is that what you're telling me?
That is what I'm telling you. Very interesting statistic. And it may be 3 titles Mercer if he can put away Tagataese.
And it'll be 1 title Tagataese. Yeah, okay. So we've got it maths here.
The math checks out, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, Slade Mercer starting to follow through on his game plan to keep the big man down, keep him off that vertical base as best he can. Oh, big open hand palm strike connects. And Tyler, we know Slade Mercer can get physical. Talk about that matchup he had against Toa Henare.
That was a huge, hard-hitting, strong style affair we had at Fight for Gold Night 2.
So we know Mercer can throw down, get physical, get gritty if need be. And the need may be here as Tagataese shoots off the ropes and runs right into a spinebuster courtesy of the Mercenary. The shoulders of the champion are down.
That's a move that Tagataese himself utilizes. Just about enough to keep Tagataese down. We could be looking at a new champion here, David. Slade Mercer, the Mercenary, is looking good. And he's one who's not going to let this Queenstown crowd rattle him. He's performed here in Queenstown a number of times. Most recently back in 2018 against Kane Khan, as a matter of fact.
Mercer, no stranger to Queenstown. He knows what he's getting into, but it is hard to try and focus on your opponent when you have a rabid audience breathing down your throat as well. And Tagataese now with a rope break will make Mercer go back to the drawing board.
I don't know if I remember ever seeing Tagataese be be controlled like this in a match before, David.
The big man, usually the dominant competitor, but Slade Mercer really has come prepared tonight as he takes to the middle rope to rain down with a closed fist. These right hands straight to the temple. And Tagataese now with the fireman's carry, thinking about the Warhammer.
Is this it? Slade Mercer's got it well scouted. He's escaped the Warhammer twice now.
And it is paramount that Mercer do so, because if Tagataese connects with the Warhammer as he connects with that lariat, we have yet to see anybody kick out.
Even since we last saw Jamie in SPW, he's defended the IPW New Zealand Championship up in Auckland. The man is just on a roll wherever he goes. But Slade Mercer has him well scouted.
Tagataese uses Mercer's momentum, puts on the brakes and drops him with the sidewalk slam, hooking both of the legs. Now is this enough to put away the challenger? No, it is not, Tyler.
Great strength from the big man there. Thought it was 3, but just 2. The Mercenary still in this one.
Tagataese thinks this could be it. Dragging Mercer back to his feet, thinking about the Warhammer. But Mercer drops it with the Slade Blade.
The Slade Blade. This has got to be it.
We got a new champion coming. Whoa! Jamie Tagataese has just kicked out of the Slade Blade, and Slade Mercer can't believe it.
Let's have a look at that one again, David. Slade Mercer counters out and hits the Slade Blade. Not quite enough to keep Jamie Tagataese down. What more does Mercer have to do to put away the SPW New Zealand champion?
Tagataese back to his feet. Mercer latches onto the throat of the big man. Thinking about a choke slam. Tagataese lands on his feet. Mercer is up. And he is down, courtesy of a Warhammer! Here's your winner, and still SPW New Zealand champion, the big man, Jamie Tagataese!
Still SPW New Zealand champion. And still 2 titles, Tagataese, the big man, retains in a war with Slade Mercer here at Queenstown WrestleFest.
A monumental win for Jamie Tagataese. He is now tied for the second most defenses of the SPW New Zealand Championship in history, moving one step closer to another reason for the big man to go down in the history books.
Who's going to be able to stop him, David?
And still, your SPW New Zealand heavyweight champion. Speaking of becoming champion, Cool Guy Sky, I heard you running your mouth just earlier then. You think you've got the advantage? You think you've got the upper hand? Nah, boy. Not on the big man. Not on the big man. So Cool Guy Sky, you think you've got your eyes on me? Get your colorful ass out here. I dare you to cash it in right now!
Oh my God, David. Jamie is calling out Cool Guy Sky, daring him to cash in right now.
A huge call from the big man, and here comes the fight for gold briefcase holder.
Could we be seeing a cash in?
history in the making at Queenstown WrestleFest. And Tyler, let me remind you, every time that briefcase has been cashed in, we have seen a new champion.
A stat that Jamie Tagataese is going to be all too aware of. What are we going to see here, David?
Ooh, big man. I might actually just cash in tonight. Should I do that, Jamie? Is that what you want, Jamie? Is that what you want, Jamie? Can we get a ref? Can we get a ref? No. No, 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 Jamie, no. Because, Jamie, this briefcase means we do things on my terms. We do things when I want to. Because that beautiful, beautiful championship will be Cool Guy Skies, Jamie. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You better have eyes in the back of your head, Jamie. And you, SPW champion, Cool Guy. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, there's the face-off, David. Cool Guy Sky not willing to cash in here tonight. I think Jamie Tagataese is too ready for him. Cool Guy Sky says it's going to be on his terms.
And this one will be explosive.
Oh!
Jamie Tagataese doesn't want to wait around. Dropping Cool Guy Sky with the warhammer.
Well, that cash-in definitely ain't happening now, David.
A message has been sent from champion to potential challenger. You had better think twice if you want to take on the big man.
Oh, here's Willpower. Cool Guy Sky's tag team partner, Willpower.
Successful in defending their SPW Tag Team Championships earlier tonight, and now Willpower.
And here's an interesting face-off.
Power himself, a former SPW New Zealand champion, and a former Fight for Gold briefcase holder. Well, for tonight, the message is clear. Do not mess with the big man.
Four matches with the winners moving on to the Fight for Gold ladder match on night 2.
Oh my God!
What's the two unfortunate souls you're going to send out here to get squashed by the best tag team in SPW?
Let me tell you something, brother.
Willpower. You want to walk back to a scene that we built while you were gone, and you want to act like a little
Man, this got heated in a hurry.
Oi Henare bringing the intensity to SPW and squaring right up to Slade Mercer.
2 titles, Tagataese is here at SPW Fight for Gold.
Nights of Mayhem tonight obviously didn't go your way, losing out in that SPW New Zealand Tag Team Championship matchup to the Mega Powers.
Listen here. we are not finished with the SPW Tag Team Division. The Knights of Mayhem and the Mega Powers are on the same road. We will meet again, and I tell you, when we meet again, it's gonna be a nightmare for the Mega Powers. Here we go!
Making his way to the ring from Ponsonby, Auckland, Kingi. And introducing his opponent.
The pride of the South.
From Invercargill, this is the pride of the South, Corey Cutter! Matchup underway. David Dunn back at the broadcast position with Gary Sansome. Gary, you've been around the world. You've seen some things. Have you ever seen anything quite like the pride of the South, Corey Cutter?
Oh, this is wild. Absolutely wild. What a clash of styles. We've got Ponsonby, a man from the cafes of Ponsonby versus a Invercargill, North versus South clash. Crowd not liking Kingi at all. They're saying stomp the knot. What a chant. Chant of the night, I think.
Kingi never been one to endear himself to an audience, but it has not stopped his success. This man, a former four-time IPW New Zealand champion, truly one of the best in the business. And it's been a little bit of a while between drinks here in SPW for Kingi. Have not seen him in action since 2019, so he will be looking to make an impact and pick up a big win over the Pride of the South.
What a night it'll be after Rangi's win earlier.
That's right, massive night for the family. And Kingi, you see there with the one shot to the midsection, he wears those gloved hands, has trained in boxing.
Wow. It's a huge size difference here. It's going to be difficult for Corey.
But look at this for unconventional offense, a bit of a do-si-do in the middle of the ring.
The streets of Invercargill indeed, or the farms of Invercargill. Oh, he's too big.
Kingi puts on the brakes, courtesy of that significant size differential, and sends Cutter into the turnbuckles. Misses the splash now. Cutter runs into the back elbow, might knock out a tooth with that. Beautiful drop toe hold now for the Pride of the South. And Gary, he's going for a ride.
Oh, wow. He's trying to lasso him. I tell you what, for a farmer, that was a textbook drop toe hold.
And look out, shoulders of Kingi are down. Corey Cutter rushes off the ropes. Kingi attempting a hip toss. Cutter with the reversal here.
There we go. Oh,
ducks under the leg. Lariat sweeps the leg himself. Around the world with that sidewalk slam.
Well, that's got to hurt. It's got to hurt. This could be it. This could be it.
Kingi hooking the leg, but not quite enough to put Corey Cutter down.
He's a tough lad. He's a tough lad. You got to be tough to survive the farms of Invercargill, surely.
That's right. Harsh conditions down in the south.
Very different from Ponsonby.
Kingi a long way from home, but he found a home for that right hand right in the breadbasket.
Wow. Tyson-like body shots.
And again, these crippling blows to the body are going to slow down Corey Cutter. And so will this. I mean, a blatantly illegal move. Our referee doing the right thing and getting physically in between these men, forcing the break.
This could be the biggest match of Corey's career, a 4-time former champion.
That's right, absolutely huge odds stacked against Corey Cutter here.
And the momentum is obviously with Kingi after his cousin's victories earlier this evening.
And Kingi looking in incredible shape here as again just lighting up Corey Cutter with these rights and lefts.
That's a shot. That's a shot.
Cutter giving as good as he got. He walks right into that heel to the jaw.
The shades of Booker T.
Corey Cutter with a shoulder off the canvas. He remains in this matchup. But Kingi signaling he thinks he could be closing in on the victory.
He's got him hooked. Here we go.
Prime position for the King hit. Swigs Corey Cutter. Cutter lands on his feet. Gary, it's a small package. And there it is, Gary, the cutter.
From Cutter. Could that, is that it? No.
2.5, very close.
Wow. He's got momentum now, Cutter. He's getting the crowd on his side here. Crowd are going wild for the pride of the South here. It's going to lasso him.
Thinking about a second Cutter, but Kingi had it scouted.
Is it going crossface?
Tying Kingi up in a submission here. A great deal of torque on the neck and on the arm. And Kingi, he tapped out!
Oh my God!
A result!
Unbelievable!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the pride of the South, Corey Cutter!
The pride of the South.
Believe it or not, the last singles match I had was 2019, October 2019 against Takagi. And then SPW management called me. They said, hey, what do you think about a match against Slade Mercer? Without even thinking, I was like, yep, let's go. It's massive, bro. I didn't realize how bloody big he was because I've never stood next to him before until the middle of the ring. And then I looked up and this guy looks like he's 10 meters tall. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Great opportunity. And he's a top-notch guy as well. He's an All Japan star too. So it's not often that you get that in the world, let alone New Zealand, let alone in Invercargill. But it's special. Like, a lot of people just throwing away all these matches out of nowhere, singles matches that don't mean anything. But when it's two guys that have gone around the world for years and years and years and then come back, I think that's pretty special. And honestly, thank SPW for that opportunity to fight Slade.
Right, I tell you what, David's been doing an absolutely bloody awesome job all night, ladies and gentlemen, but I am going to live a lifelong dream by announcing the next match. So, Ladies, you're going to go with this. I think you come at the centre of the ring here. So we've got a lovely referee over here. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our next contest. And it is scheduled for one fall. One fall. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, our first participant. He's weighing in at far too many fair burgers, ladies and gentlemen. It is Carnage. He's a big boy. Oh, scary, scary. Ooh. Come on. Wow. Jesus. Wow. That is why he wears a mask. Bloody hell. Fuck. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, come on. Right. Come on. Come on. Get him. Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our second participant. He's going to kick his ass, ladies and gentlemen. It's the one and only. It's the sexy man that is the Love Machine. Give it up.
Well, our special host for this evening, Gary Sansome, finding out what it's like to be on the wrong side of Carnage. But thankfully, it's the Love Machine to the rescue.
Yeah, Gary did not quite know what he was getting into. He chose the wrong match to announce. I mean, well, you don't make comments like that to the participants while they're in the ring, do you, David?
I certainly don't, and it's for that very reason. But now we will see the sexy legs of the Love Machine. Queenstown's words, not mine, although I don't disagree. Taking on the powerhouse that is Carnage.
Strange things happen here at Queenstown WrestleFest, David. 1 year ago, we saw the first appearance of the Love Machine. Big Daddy Rex, the alter ego of the Human Hate Machine T-Rex. He's re-emerged here this year at WrestleFest. My goodness, I just don't know what to say.
I don't know where to look. I'm just drawn in by those powerful thighs.
Carnage having to deal with him here 2 years in a row.
That's right, and what a year it's been for Carnage. Of course, the highs and the lows he's been through. Whoa! And that may be one of his low points. Of course, at one stage was one half of the SPW New Zealand Tag Team Champions, but finds himself having to strike out on his own in 2021.
Yeah, no Jake Sheehan, no control here at Carnage's side tonight. It's our first time seeing him on his own for a long time. Can he get it done against the Love Machine, who's showing, well, he's showing something.
Oh, a big spine-rattling kick from Carnage. Looking to make it 2 in a row with victories over the Love Machine in Queenstown. Both men trading shots to the abdomen.
Two of our biggest stars in SPW here.
Oh! And that's what happens when you run into a clothesline from Carnage. But Big Daddy Rex with the shoulder up. Going to take more than that to put the Love Machine down.
Yeah, well, Human Hate Machine T-Rex is a former SPW New Zealand champion. He's very difficult to defeat. But Big Daddy Rex, the Love Machine, does not have the best win-loss record. I don't know what influences the man's decision or how is it chosen which T-Rex we see. But I don't know if this was the right choice for tonight with an opponent like Carnage.
The Love Machine certainly starting to look worse for wear as Carnage drops an elbow to the small of the back. Into the cover now from Carnage. 1 second away, but it's got to be the full 3 count. Carnage paintbrushing at the head of the Love Machine, saying, what have you got? Really content to slow this one down. But he's got to be careful he doesn't get disqualified. Referee Hayden Brown does not play around in there.
The only one playing around is going to be the Love Machine, but Carnage not going to give him that chance.
Whoa.
Just a brutal stomp.
That'll stop any game in a hurry. Might loosen a tooth as well.
Great comeback by Carnage there. That's how you deal with these fans. What is happening, David? Carnage attempting a German suplex. Big Daddy Rex finding his way out of it, shall we say. That's a stare down. What?
And it's a nipple gripple.
Not the nipple gripple. Carnage attempts his own nipple gripple.
Doesn't have quite the same effect on the Love Machine, but that forearm will. Oh! Turned him inside out with that clothesline. Did Carnage.
Carnage a bit slow going to that cover though. Yeah.
And you see it in action there. Big Daddy Rex able to get that Big Daddy shoulder off of the mat.
Holy hell. Oh, yes.
And you hear the reaction, a sort of begrudging, stunned respect from Queenstown after that huge TKO. But look at this, the momentum of the move has sent Big Daddy Rex rolling to the outside of the ring where he cannot be pinned.
Big Daddy Rex back in the ring now, and Carnage is ready for it, but no, a huge counter from Big Daddy Rex. Oh! Oh!
Drops it with a pile driver. I mean, that's shades of Carnage's former tag team partner, Jake Sheehan.
Carnage getting dropped on his head. Big Daddy Rex and Carnage now both back to their feet, exchanging blows. Oh!
The impact of that blow ricocheting all the way around the Memorial Centre here in Queenstown.
Big Daddy Rex trying to give it back, but not quite being able to give it back as good as he got it. Oh, a low blow there. What is Gary doing? Gary, get down, Gary. This is not your place. I know it was a low blow, and that sucks, but, oh, David, did you not tell Gary not to do this?
I mean, we only had so much time to talk beforehand. I wasn't able to brief him here. Oh, look at this. Roll through small package. And the Love Machine has done it.
The Love Machine pulls off the win. It has been a wild night here in Queenstown WrestleFest. We had no doubt it would be, but it's not over yet. It is time for our main event, the Hooligan Marcus Kool versus the Savage NIWA, round 2. Let's take a look at how this one came about.
This lad right here gave up everything he had in this country. He left everybody that he cared about to travel the world to become a man. You found yourself. You found that fire. You found that passion. You found NIWA.
Making his return to SPW after 5 years, formerly known as Johnny Idol, this is NIWA.
But the truth is, the only reason you're here right now is because of COVID-19. Because ever since you've been back, you've been phoning it in, mate. And you've been getting your ass kicked by all the local lads here.
1, 2, 3. What? And an inside cradle. He's done it. Is NIWA going to tap? Yes, he does.
They've beaten you, every single one of them. So you want to walk back in here? You want to walk back to a scene that we built while you were gone, and you want to act like a little bitch?
Man, this got heated in a hurry.
These two are going to tear into each other. I mean, Marcus Kool, he asked for this last night. He wanted NIWA, and he has got him tonight. NIWA, an absolute animal in that ring.
Kool is lifeless, dubbed with another powerbomb.
And mercifully, this one is over.
Tonight you had my number. Everyone knows Queenstown is my home ground. And on April the 3rd, we're back in Queenstown. So if you bring what you brought tonight, I'll bring exactly what I bring every time we're in Queenstown.
No, Marcus! Call attention!
There's the challenge, mate. NIWA, Hooligan, round 2. But this time, it ain't gonna be me lying in the middle of the ring, mate. It's gonna be you.
Marcus Kool, when you woke the Savage, how did that end up? A loss, a trip to the hospital, reconstructive surgery, April 3rd, Queenstown, with NIWA under my control. I'm gonna be building up those frequent flyer points at the hospital, son.
The Hooligan versus NIWA.
An absolute physical war between two of the best we have ever seen in SPW.
See you in Queenstown.
All right, Queenstown, this is it. The moment you've all been waiting for. It is time for our main event. Introducing first. Accompanied to the ring by Dion McCracken from Wainuiomata, this is the Savage, NIWA!
Making his way to the ring with Dion McCracken for the first time here in SPW, the Savage NIWA, and he's brought a chain to the ring as well.
And introducing his opponent.
Let's have it!
From Queenstown, this is the Hooligan, Marcus Kool!
Here we are again, David. Another Hooligan Marcus Kool Queenstown main event, another electric atmosphere.
There is nothing like this, the response that Marcus Kool receives in Queenstown. And that has got to bolster his confidence. But in the back of the mind of the Hooligan Marcus Kool, he must be thinking, oh, as NIWA rushes in with a head of steam, he gets lit up. by these knife-edge chops. I mean, this one is getting physical in a hurry.
I didn't think it could be any more brutal than last time. These two are out to prove me wrong, I think. Oh my God.
Knife-edge chops. I mean, both these men are going to wake up with welts tomorrow.
NIWA not coming alone this time, David. Not only Dion McCracken, but also bringing a chain to the ring. What can you tell us about the man at ringside with NIWA?
Dion McCracken as Marcus Kool.
Jeez, we're not going to get time.
We're just going to have to call the action here. Fast and furious as NIWA spills to the outside, and the Hooligan now, with a death-defying dive, wipes out the Savage at Queenstown WrestleFest.
Hooligan going out to his people. Dion McCracken there, looking a bit unsure of things, not quite sure what he's gotten himself into. Oh no!
And Dion McCracken attempting to get physically involved. And
he's running quickly.
Realizes, don't come up here.
What are you doing, Dion?
Dion McCracken putting as much space.
Oh my God!
Between himself and the Hooligan. And NIWA capitalizes on the distraction. And that is the sort of presence that Dion McCracken brings to ringside as NIWA now continues to bludgeon Marcus Kool with these chops.
Man, how is the Hooligan? What? He's back to his feet already.
Marcus Kool must be...
Oh!
Good God! A scoop slam on that unprotected solid wood floor.
He truly is a savage, David. My God.
I mean, this new NIWA, this NIWA that Marcus Kool awoke at Fight for Gold is truly something else. Maybe the scariest prospect we have ever seen at SPW, and especially with Dion McCracken at his side.
That was Dion's words, wasn't it? You woke the savage, and that is so apt. NIWA has been on a roll all over the country, and I don't think he can be stopped.
And Marcus Kool, resilient, fights his way back to his feet as the action moves back into the ring. But there is a second scoop slam. And that is only going to amplify any damage done on the outside as NIWA drops the elbow down across the throat of the Hooligan.
And another one.
I mean, Marcus Kool had to have reconstructive surgery for a broken nose in terms of the aftermath of his first matchup against NIWA. And he could be in for even worse this evening.
Yeah, NIWA not giving him a chance to breathe here.
And you can see it when it comes to their size. NIWA, the much bigger man, as he heads up to that top turnbuckle. Oh! That's a lot of weight to come crashing down through the point of the elbow. And Marcus Kool in a world of trouble here in his hometown.
NIWA is not messing around here tonight. Do you think that... Oh my God, the savage! Going for that nose, surgically repaired. NIWA is enjoying this.
Marcus Kool now hung up on the middle rope in front of the Queenstown audience. NIWA wants everybody in the building to get a good look at what he is doing to their hero.
And here's Dion McCracken. All right, David, tell us about it. Who is this guy?
I mean, this is the first time we're seeing Dion McCracken in SPW, but Dion McCracken first came into the corner of NIWA in 2015. This man, known as the winningest manager in New Zealand professional wrestling, has led a number of men to the IPW New Zealand Championship and could very well be taking NIWA to the top of the SPW ranks with another win tonight.
Already seeing huge improvements in NIWA's game, having Dion McCracken at his side. Is this combination too much for the Hooligan to take even here in Queenstown?
I mean, we've seen a number of chops this evening through a number of matches, but none thrown with that fight-ending intensity of NIWA.
That's a good way to put it, David. Fight-ending intensity. There's no feeling out process here tonight.
No, they did all their feeling out at Fight for Gold, and tonight they are here to throw down. NIWA just relentless in beating down Marcus Kool on the outside of the ring. And he feels he's done enough for a count-out victory that perhaps the Hooligan will be unable to get back to his feet.
We've seen the Hooligan recover from some incredible beatings here in Queenstown. That crowd, having that hometown crowd, brings something out of them.
Oh, look at that. Baseball slide drop kick from NIWA. And Kool is again down on the outside of the ring. And Tyler, it's a good point you raise. We've seen Marcus Kool come back time and time again in Queenstown. But every one of these epic career-defining matches, it's got to take something out of the Hooligan. I mean, we have seen Marcus Kool competing in the main event for the past 6-7 years here. Is there damage being accumulated through all of these physical matchups?
There has to be. He's only human at the end of the day. My question is, the Hooligan couldn't beat NIWA in a one-on-one situation at Fight for Gold. How is he going to handle this NIWA that is even more aggressive, even more brutal, and he's got Dion McCracken at ringside? I just think this is too much, even for the Hooligan.
But although they're not involved in quite the same capacity that Dion McCracken is, this is not just Kool on his own. This is Marcus Kool with the support of all of Queenstown behind him. But unfortunately for Kool, they cannot be there to cause a distraction in the same way as McCracken can, and they cannot help him right now as NIWA drops another elbow to the throat of the Hooligan.
You do raise a good point. There's definitely a difference in facing the Hooligan in Invercargill versus Queenstown. This crowd brings something out of him. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. NIWA is in firm control. Oh my God. We talked about it. NIWA came back to SPW. Oh, here's the cover.
And Marcus Kool rallies back from that chop. Not quite sure how he managed that one. You can see Kool breathing heavy.
We talked about the disappointing results that NIWA had upon his return to SPW. This is the NIWA that I wanted to see. This is the NIWA that I knew we could see. But I don't think it's the NIWA that the Hooligan wants. My God, he asked for it, but man.
Be careful what you wish for, Marcus Kool. And NIWA sends the Hooligan through the ropes to the outside. And he's not going to do anything, but Dion McCracken may.
Yeah, Dion McCracken getting his hands on the Hooligan there at ringside. It's just insult to injury at this point. I don't know how much damage he's actually inflicting. Just not giving the Hooligan a chance to catch his breath.
And now NIWA steps through the ropes and heads to the outside of the ring. He's not going to be content with a count-out victory. The Savage is still on the hunt for the Hooligan. And you'll notice there that NIWA didn't lift Marcus Kool up for that chop. He waited for the Hooligan to expend his own energy getting back to his feet before knocking Marcus Kool right back to that exposed floor.
This NIWA is scary, David. Oh my God, did you see that?
Marcus Kool, I mean, I would say he's out on his feet, but he's not even on his feet at this point. Barely able to stand.
Referee, I'm wondering if he needs to get in there and check the Hooligan. This is not...
I mean, it would not be a popular decision to call the match off, but it would certainly be within the realms of reason for referee Hayden Brown to think about stopping this one. Marcus Kool is not intelligently defending himself. And when a competitor...
get out there, Hayden.
Hayden going to back up Dion McCracken, back up NIWA. Check on Marcus Kool.
I mean, NIWA's already sent him to the hospital once.
Well, it appears Marcus Kool is able to continue, but for how much longer as NIWA stomps the chest of the Hooligan?
Oh my God, David.
The Savage signaling that this could be the end of things as all 115 kilograms of NIWA takes to the top rope.
Oh, what?
Marcus Kool with a burst of energy.
You can never count the Hooligan out here in Queenstown. Oh my God.
You can see the sweat flying off NIWA, courtesy of these clubbing blows from Marcus Kool. Oh! Chops, fists, forearms, anything the Hooligan can muster. Now Marcus Kool meets NIWA on that top turnbuckle, a proverbial no man's land. Very high-risk situation, but it will be a high reward for the Hooligan if he can take NIWA off the top and to the back with a superplex.
The impact, David.
A massive impact from Marcus Kool. Is it enough to turn around the momentum of this contest? Kool has been on the back foot from the moment the bell rung, but if that superplex has taken as much out of NIWA as we think it may have, this could be the Hooligans' moment to rally.
NIWA back to his feet before the Hooligan. That's telling, isn't it? Oh my God. That's that power bomb that finished him off at Fight for Gold.
But Kool's on his feet and the Kool Intentions drops NIWA.
We have seen that counter before here at Queenstown. And oh yes, classic Hooligan, the Luther's press. Rights and lefts to NIWA.
Clothesline in the corner now from Marcus Kool. And he catches NIWA with a picture-perfect drop kick to the chin. Hooligan into the cover, hooking both legs, stacking the weight of NIWA on the shoulders.
An incredible comeback from the Hooligan, but you see he's definitely the worst for wear at the moment.
But for the first time, Marcus Kool is the first one back to his feet.
Yep.
Springboard moonsault. Oh, and NIWA, look at the strength of the Savage.
Incredible.
Drops Marcus Kool down on that top turnbuckle. Rushing in.
Oh.
NIWA straddling that top rope as Marcus Kool moves out of the way of what would have been a devastating big boot.
Yeah, that running drop kick from NIWA. Nasty. We saw that at their last match of Fight for Gold.
And Kool again looking for the moonsault all the way to the top. He gets it this time. Isn't enough? And we had another Marcus Kool victory in Queenstown. 1 second away.
Marcus Kool definitely victorious here in Queenstown more often than not.
And Dion McCracken scared here that we could be seeing Marcus Kool closing in on the win. But NIWA still down as a result of the impact of this hard-hitting matchup. McCracken is on the apron. He has drawn the ire of Marcus Kool, and Kool thinking about the super kick.
And that is why NIWA has Dion here, causing a distraction. Oh my God!
Whoa! Just when it looked like Marcus Kool was focused on NIWA, the Hooligan changes tack, wipes out Dion McCracken. But now he's got to deal with an irate Savage as NIWA again follows Marcus Kool to the outside, bringing the fight to the Hooligan wherever he goes.
NIWA's going to have to change his game plan now, not having Dion McCracken. Oh!
head first into that steel ring post, but somehow NIWA back to his feet, rolling back into the ring. But NIWA appears to be still groggy from that collision with the ring post as Marcus Kool ascends to the top rope once more for the crossbody press. But the power of the Savage is on display.
Oh, man, what a counter from the Hooligan, David.
Marcus Kool with that tornado DDT, dropping NIWA square on his head. And now the positioning of Kool. Perfect for that Kool intention super kick. And you know what comes next, Tyler?
The stomp. Could this be it? NIWA's head driven into the canvas.
Dion McCracken.
This crowd thought there was 3, but...
And referee Hayden Brown has had enough. Not a moment too soon. McCracken, you are out of here. Oh, but Tyler, look out, back in the ring. The Savage has got that steel chain. Oh. And NIWA smashes the chain into the face of Marcus Kool. And drops.
And he hits it.
Kool with the powerbomb. Woo! Somehow, someway, Marcus Kool just endured not 1 but 2 of NIWA's best shots. And now NIWA really at a loose end.
NIWA's, no Dion McCracken now. He's hit Kool with his best shot and the Hooligan kicks out. Where do you go from here, NIWA?
Well, it appears as though the Savage is looking to use that chain again, but our referee, Hayden Brown, will not stand for that.
Yeah, this is not a no disqualification match. NIWA uses it. Kool will win by DQ.
That's not a result anyone is hoping to see. But Marcus Kool is not afraid, daring NIWA.
Oh.
The Hooligan, quicker on the trigger with that Kool intention super kick. And NIWA has dropped the chain. And there's the penalty kick. Takes his head off. And the Hooligan is victorious in Queenstown.
My God, he's done it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the Hooligan, Marcus Kool.
An incredible performance from the Hooligan once again. The Savage NIWA was not enough tonight, even with Dion McCracken at ringside. The Hooligan continues to be just ridiculously resilient here in Queenstown, David.
We have seen some hard-fought battles from the Hooligan Marcus Kool, and he's got to celebrate like only he can.
Another year, another Queenstown WrestleFest done and dusted. David, thank you for joining me here. It has been a hell of a night. And thank you everyone for watching on SPW On Demand. For David Dunn, for Gary Sansome, I am Tyler King. We'll catch you next time.